Crypto enthusiasts, not to say that I told you so, but if you're following me, I told you to go short. Paid group. Asking for a paid group. I do not have a paid group at the moment, Alex. Something I'm working on. No paid group as of yet, my friend. No paid group. So I'm just gonna get a little bit right into my trades, and we'll go from there. So you can see in the bottom right-hand corner, I've got my trades. Don't need that. Here. And I closed out my positions. If you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, even here, I show you when I'm opening one and what's going on. I said that, hey, after the Fed meeting, I had this big pump up that I was a part of, and I ended up going short right around 18,000, took profits at 17,500, and then I was letting it run down because I really thought that we were going to get down to 17. And what did we do? I ended up closing at 17,048. I had a stop limit order in, so this all happened when I was asleep. When price actually went down to 16,870, which, I didn't get the bottom, but I still got a hefty profit. And then on my Ethereum, let's look at Ethereum here real quick. So I opened right under 1,300. Again, I was adding into my position here, and I was waiting for it to bounce and get up here. I ended up closing my position on the upside a little over 1,300. I didn't get this double top here. I am on the hourly as well for anybody that's interested, but I ended up going short right at 1,300. I took profits here. Again, if you saw my live stream, then you would have seen Alex. I'll try to look at my Instagram a little bit more, my friend. But yeah, I've got a lot of tutorials on here on how to teach, and you'll see that my charts are not loaded. The main thing I use as far as an indicator is stochastics, and then I use my VRVP, for volume. I'm not one of those guys that look at all sorts of market cipher, Lux Algo, all these stupid paid $600 shit that's going to give you a buy signal, a sell signal. I'll finish going over that, but let me first tell you how this went. So I closed half the position and I left the rest open, and I told you my target was right around 1,300. Okay, that's just what I had. I had a stop limit order underneath that, right about 1,200, because I just was wondering, if I was sleeping, if I would hit it. And, luckily enough, it hit it overnight. But again, I didn't get the very bottom. The bottom was 1,189. And before I go about where I'm looking for a new entry, basically this is what I do when I look at if I'm trying to take a trade. Okay. So I zoom way the F out. Man, I'm a line guy. I like lines because it's incredibly ironic how things like to tip. They like to touch each other. It's incredibly interesting how much these lines like to touch each other. But I will zoom out and I will go, okay, what does this look like? So during 2021, why would you be trying to short here when everything under the sun is going up? I mean, it's just asinine. It's stupid to try to do that. And then here, when things are tanking on the weekly, why would you be trying to go short? Why would I be trying to go short? So if I'm zoom in to this area, okay, June, May of 2022, then I need to zoom in onto my daily and look at here, and then I'm trying to find an entry, right? I'm trying to find an entry into there of some sort of a pump, So then I'd look at here and I go, okay, Here's another guy, but this is actually, I could argue that this is, a higher low or a lower high. And so therefore I could be looking for a short to hang on, but it all starts on the weekly. You all start on the weekly to see these deal, or on the monthly. That's what I do when I'm looking at going for trades. Okay. And right now, if I'm zooming in, we did not get another high. Okay. So this is going down. So we've got a low here. We've got a lower low. We've got an even lower low. Okay. We've got a high. We've got a higher, lower high, and then what do we have? Another lower high. So if I connect these, okay, boom, 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 boom. It's hard to argue that this is a downwards market here. I don't think we're going to get back on Ethereum to here, but as of right now, this to me is looking like, hey, we are going even lower. We are going even lower. So for there, I'm going to zoom back in. I'm going to go look at the daily. Again, guys, I'm not the type of dude to have a shit ton of stuff on my charts. It's mainly just lines and volume here. I've got a trend line that was just recently broken. We are starting to bounce off of relatively this area, this hard red line that I have, the 1230. If we can't stay above 1200, so if we break below 1200 again, and maybe even the low, the 1189, I'll probably go short to right around, I would say 1000, maybe 80-ish. 1080-ish. That's really where I would be feeling. So if I'm looking at a measurement tool, I'm going to go short position. So let's just say I'm entering here. My stop to be proven wrong. Oh, get out. And guys, I'm doing this on the fly. So this is my actual analysis that I am doing to look for my next trade. Okay, I showed you that I just got out of a bunch of very profitable trades. I made another 3% on my portfolio from these guys, which was good. So I'm half tempted to this bounce at 1200 because we were bouncing here on the daily. I'm like, do I want to go long or do I want to go short? But my instinct is telling me that I need to look for a short position because of this. If I look at this is a trend, right? We've got again, low, higher low, even higher low. But then what happened? Now we've got a lower low. It broke from here. Okay. So this was the level in the sand, the 1230. We're well below 1230. We're 1,200 or 1,205, right? We're below that. So for that reason, if today this doesn't become just a pin bar wick where it's just a long wick and we start going upwards and we test this trend line again, I'm going short, right? And this trend line is null and void now because it got broken out. And just so you know that these lines this is just to kind of try to find help which direction you're going in. It's not really to be used as a key level, right? The best levels are really horizontal lines, so for that reason, I'm going to delete this guy. But I will look for another short if we start touching the bottom again of what the low is here. And I'm going to say, I've got my stop loss. I will put my stop loss right around 1,300. And then my profit target is going to be right around 1,070-ish. Okay. And so right now, this trade is the bare minimum that I would really make is it's all 1-to-1. It is a 1-to-1 ratio. That is the bare minimum that I will make for this trade. For Bitcoin, let me look at Bitcoin here. Dun, dun, dun. Weekly. Let's go look back at the weekly here. Bitcoin is going down. Dun, dun, dun. I've got some fancy lines in here. You know, dun, dun, dun. On the weekly, we have not broken above into a new area here. That's right around the 18,000. We really need to be above 18,000 for me to be fairly bullish right now. So looking at this, man, look at that. Look at that shooting star. That is a crazy shooting star. So now I'm going to go look for some sort of an entry. So on the daily here, we have broken this line again that's showing the trend line. The one thing that Bitcoin has that I'm looking at that potentially could be decent for Bitcoin is this is confusing me as whether or not I'm going to go short or not. Here, I'm trying to make it to where it's easier for you guys to see on the screen. Dun, dun, dun. You know, oh, Rich Man, you're asking me if I'm going long now, right? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Am I going to go long or am I going to go short? Remember, price goes down faster than it goes up. Always has, always will. All right, but would this be a good entry into a long position? I just showed you my position for Ethereum for going short if it touches that. So I'll probably put a limit order in, you know, at 1,185-ish or so for going short. But on Bitcoin, I'm a little confused at what Bitcoin is doing right now because we've had such a crash that I would see some sort of a bounce happening. You know, so I'm expecting a bounce. Would it be a dead cat bounce where we bounce up, maybe touch the 17,500? You know, that may be a play, but I feel like that's a little risky. But you can see I didn't change my lines here, but that line has been bounced off right away. Okay, because the bottom was 16,870. I had my line right at 16,880, and you can see that we're tracing above it. If I'm looking at in a teaching moment, what do you guys see? What do you guys see here? Well, it looks like this is a trending market. If I'm zooming in, if I'm not zooming out to, you know, the rest of the horribleness that's this line right here, right? This to me looks like a trending market. You know, it almost looks like an ascending triangle if I have this line right here, because ascending triangle, we need 3 touches. So, you know, that would count as 1. This count is 2. And then this could potentially be 3. And then we get a 3 here. And then we bounce out. That is a pattern play that I could potentially think about doing here. But now it looks like it's a trending market. And why am I saying that? Again, guys, and gals, it's very, very simple. Is here's a low, here's a higher low, here's an even higher low, and what is this? This right here is another higher low as of right now. If this bottom holds of 1870. So for that reason, if this holds, I'm looking for a V-shaped recovery. Okay, what I mean by a V-shaped recovery is something like this. Okay, it's a V. But if it doesn't hold, really my entry is got to be around, gosh, because I want to be proven wrong. All right, let me, if I was to go long now because we're bouncing off of right around 1,700-ish, right? Even though this is under, you got to give Bitcoin some wiggle room because Bitcoin needs wiggle room. Okay, let's just say I was to enter right now. My stop for my long position is literally going to be right around 16,600. Okay, and my profit target, my first one that's most likely to hit, would be this guy. Would be 17,500. Okay, that's a 2.2 risk ratio. So I'm risking 1 to make 2.25. To me, that is a fairly decent play right now. That is a decent play that we got going for a long position. My next target would be that 18,000, which that's a 1 to 4 risk ratio. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that setup. But if I was to go short, okay, short position, my short position's relatively gotta be here. But this is also going to contradict because it's playing right on a level of support. Okay, so where would my stop be for something like that? Well, I want to be proven wrong, so I'd have to get above right around 17,200 or so would be where I put my stop. And where'd my profit target be? Well, my profit target would be the first one that would be most likely to hit would be the 16,000 even. So this isn't as good of a play. If I line them up to each other, my short position is looking not near as enticing. Obviously I could say we could go down to new lows and then that would be something else. That would be almost a 2 risk ratio. So that's interesting. Right now in Bitcoin, I'm honestly looking for a long position. Truthfully, looking for a long position on there. But I got to see a little bit of a bounce. So therefore, I'm going to go down to the 4 hour and look. Nothing much going on here. On the 1 hour, we're getting a stuck in a range here. This is the range. So I'd like to see for a long position above 17,030, 40 or so is what I'd be looking at on where I want to be. 15 minutes. Yeah, we're hanging out in that area. Okay, I think I might put a limit order in above the 17,085-ish is where I think I want to put in a long position for a limit order. But also, one of the things that I found was interesting this morning was, FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, as far as the whistleblower goes. And desktop audio. Let me show you this and we'll leave.
Financial Services Committee, and he was supposed to testify this week under oath. What prosecutor would not want their subject to testify under oath? But the Democrats who run the committee made sure he was arrested before he could actually go under oath and talk about all that money that they received.
I will say, Maria, it's a little bit unusual. I think any prosecutor who's about to prosecute a case, I was a former prosecutor, I served in the Justice Department for many, many years. Typically, if somebody you're investigating is about to make a statement, and particularly a statement under oath, you want him to make that statement, right? Because
I just found that interesting, that the whole Democrat Party kind of got him arrested before he was supposed to talk under oath. But that's part of the reason why we're going down, and it's got a lot to do with our economy. So it's just hang on, right? Hang on. And I'm telling everybody, now is the time to start dollar cost averaging into stocks and crypto. You're holding on to the rope. It's time to tie a knot at the bottom and just hang on, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. And what I mean by bumpy ride is that we are going to be going sideways for a while. We're going to see a lot of this action. Yes, there's going to be $1,000 pumps here and there, but the majority of it, we're not going to see these big 20% moves upwards, and I don't think we're going to see much big downside move. I think we're just kind of stagnant right now. We're flowing along. But anyway, this is Johnny Crypto. I'm here to help you guys make some effing money. So have a good Friday and a good Christmas. Till next time.